Okay, so an exercise that is very useful for lots of reasons is just two poles on a corner. Okay, and you're going to canter in, you're going to come off the left rein, you're going to pop that first pole, you're going to look to the second one, you're going to canter through the corner, and we're going to count the number of strides that you do. We're going to have a look at the stride length. You might do 6 through there or 5 through there, and we're going to add a stride in. We're going to compress the stride a little bit just so we've got a little bit of control. We can shorten and lengthen the strides as we want. What I'm really going to do though is look to get a good stride length, and then I'm going to look for you to be very consistent with the line that you ride and come up with the same number of strides every time. So I want you to develop an eye for a line and a distance. A line is the path that we follow. The distance is where we want our last stride to end. So ideally, once we get a little bit of a feel for our canter, I want you to be able to do the same thing every time. And then when we get really good, we can ride the inside line and take a stride out. We can ride the outside line and put an extra stride in. We can lengthen the stride, yeah, and take a stride out. We can shorten the stride and put an extra stride in. We make our horse very adjustable and trainable. Does that make sense? But the first thing we're going to do is just canter through there, and we're going to count our number of strides. We'll probably do that twice, just to see how we go, and then we're going to look at making some changes if needed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again. Now, you did 5 both times, didn't you? What we're going to try and do now is do 6. We're going to add a stride in. So obviously to add a stride in, we need to shorten our stride a little bit, don't we? That's going to start when you're coming, before you get to this pole, when you're coming in. Around here, you're going to just keep a little bit more weight in that right stirrup, a little bit more weight in the right rein. Just shorten him a little bit. Pop this fence, stay a little bit tall with the body. And I want you to move slightly deeper into your corner. That's going to give us a little bit more room to help us. And I want the stride to stay a little shorter. We can definitely do 6, yeah, today. In a while, we can do 7 as well. All right, let's try now. Let's try and do 6 strides. You've got to keep the stride a little bit shorter and just go slightly deeper into the corner, and 6 should come up. Like you might get 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful. Can you do it again? Stay short, fit it. Good girl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, only just. Whoa. And wait. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good girl. Trot. Give him a big pat. That was actually very, very good. You know, and once or twice there, you know, when he broke over the rail, he came to the rail and he dropped into the trot. That was because the stride was going to be very short. So he's got a choice when that stride's going to be very short, or the distance isn't right. Either make a really short stride, which is again making you do like a half squat, or break into the trot. He's not being a jerk. He's just saying, oh, that's too hard, I'll do it this way. That's why he drops into the trot. He's got to learn to compress the frame, try a little bit harder, and then it's easy to jump out of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at that. Much easier on this side, huh? We said that. Let's do 6, 5 times in a row. Face up and look right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Now I want you to have a think about this. You go, oh, today all we're doing is jumping poles on the ground. Man, it's quite boring really, isn't it? Do you know what? When I ask you to canter from that rail to that rail, you did quite well, and you got it right 50% of the time. You probably did that line 8 times and you got it right 4 times. Now let's stop and think about that for a minute. Let's turn this into a show jump round. Let's make that 80 centimetres and that 80 centimetres. And if you're getting that line right 50% of the time, you're going to have quite a few stops and rails, aren't you? Yeah? So that's why we've got to develop that eye for the distance and the line, but also be able to control the canter. When the canter's too fast and long, it runs away. Yeah? When it comes a little bit too far back, it breaks. You've got to be able to find that canter that he can maintain down to that pole, jump the pole, ride the corner. When you can do it 9 times out of 10 over these rails, you're pretty darn good. When you can do it 10 out of 10, you're outstanding.